Avoid Chicago unless you can handle these 5 hot takes. Hey, welcome to Chisholm Prism. My name is Taylor Chisholm, and today in this video I'm bringing you another Avoid Chicago unless you can handle these 5 facts video, which in turn is kind of just like hot takes that I have about the city. I've been doing a video like this on St. Patrick's Day for the past 3 years, and I've been seeing a lot of questions and engagement from you guys, so it seems like it's definitely helping you. So I'm gonna keep doing it, and I like doing it. I have 5 new topics that I wanted to introduce to you guys today that have been on my mind this year about the city. If you're thinking of moving here, or if you're here, let's kind of like talk about it together. Again, it's just my opinion of the city. I've been here for about 5 years now. I grew up in a suburb around the city. I love Chicago. It is my favorite city, hands down, in the US. You can fight me on it, but it's amazing, and there's so many benefits to it, but there's some things to think about too. So I'm gonna mix in a couple of those things for you guys, and we can talk about it today. Also, coming soon, I am actually making a bunch of art and prints based around Chicago, and I want to do a giveaway once we hit 2,000 subs. So look out soon. I will be posting a video that I'll feature that will be all about the details of the giveaways. At the moment though, I do have an Etsy store where you can shop and download some prints yourself and print them at home. At the moment, I do hope to have an actual like print store, but again, that takes time. That takes time. So if you're curious and you want some cool Chicago art in your home, go check it out. The link is down below. I do appreciate any support that comes from that. It means a lot, and thank you again. I love you guys all. Okay, let's get into the video. For number 1, it's gonna be the Chicago 15. So this is referencing all of the amazing food here in the city. Obviously, well known, the deep dish pizzas, the hot dogs, Chicago hot dogs. We had smash burgers, we have the Italian beef. We have a series of really popular foods, but there's some controversy to some of these foods, and honestly, some are much more touristy than the average Chicagoan even eats. But let's get into it. The Chicago hot dog, it is filled with a lot of stuff, okay? And from all my life living and coming to Chicago and being around the city, I don't know anyone who orders a full Chicago hot dog and eats everything that's on it, okay? Like the peppers and the relish and all this shenanigans, like it's extra. I don't have the taste buds for it, and honestly, the whole like debacle between ketchup not being on a hot dog is like a staple here. So it's not gonna be on the menu, but honestly, the gag is that most people still get the fries and ketchup, so you're still kind of eating ketchup with the hot dog anyway. So it doesn't even matter if you want ketchup on your hot dog. Eat it how you want it. Honestly, I just get it very simple, very plain, mustard and some onion. I'm good. To each their own with the hot dog, okay? But another hot take, like nobody is eating deep dish like that. Like, I think I've had deep dish twice in my life, and I was like super young, but it's just heavy, okay? Like the ratio of crust and filling and cheese is off to me, and majority of Chicagoans, we ain't even eating deep dish like that. That's a tourist thing, okay? It's a spectacle for sure, and we have a ton of popular chained restaurants and some local places that make it. And yeah, you should definitely try it if you never tried deep dish. But I will tell you, it's not as good as just like a thin crust, tavern style, square cut pizza. Like my favorite pizza place actually is Beggar's Pizza. Oh, it's so good. It's really good. And of course, everyone has their favorite place around their city. But the best thing, right, is that there's so many different spots of food. Like Chicago's so diverse culturally that they have great Asian restaurants, great Mexican food. We have Polish communities, and find even some good soul food around, Italian spots, Indian spots. Like you can find whatever you're craving we have something for it, it can fill you up, right? So that's why the Chicago 15, you got to look out for it, because you can just be eating away, ordering DoorDash, and you don't even realize you just gained like 20 pounds in the last year because you just been eating. Okay, I've been there, we've been there. So you gotta just space it out, but we have a lot of really great food, so don't knock Chicago on it. Honestly, best pizza, better than New York, okay? Come for me, better than New York pizza, Chicago, okay? Also, just Italian beef, real solid. Go to like Al's Beef, go to Portillo's, even got some good Italian beef, and there's a bunch of even local spots that are around, so definitely check it out. There's videos, influencers all around that talk about the food here in Chicago. This weather is getting nice out. The sun is out. Soon the flowers will be blooming. People come outside in Chicago. So it's definitely the time to try all nice restaurants, go to rooftops, go to different bars, local spots, and you'll find some gems. So for hot take number 2, I wanted to talk about dating and friendships, right? So big city, there's almost a lot of optionality, and that can cause a hindrance on that kind of social life. It can also be a positive, right? But especially in our modern culture, and this might be just across the board, but too many options on dating apps, on these things like...
Well, a new study shows Chicago is actually one of the worst cities for ghosting. 56% of Chicagoans admit they've ghosted someone in the past year.
It's not impossible. Like, there's a lot to do to get you out the house if you want to meet in person and socialize, make friends, go to clubs, go to events, go to different places, street fests, museums, things like... I do think it provides options for third spaces. There's a lot more that you can put yourself forward and kind of engage in a different way to run into new people. It's not giving as much as I would love, but again, when the weather gets warmer, I think people open out of their shell a little bit more. Like, hibernation season ends, and then people are more lively. Again, like, as an adult, making friends is a challenge in itself sometimes, you know? Like, you're not forced to be in a school where you're communicating with the same cycle of people and you just kind of bond in that way. And not everybody wants to be friends with their coworkers, right? So there's a challenge in that in general for just modern day society. But I think Chicago does, again, like, aid in some different activities that will get you out of the house that's not just drinking. And also a key thing, like, distance is important here. So definitely looking up a kind of neighborhood that you want to be in, especially during the winter, will be an issue because you're not going to want to travel too far. You're not a big fan of the transportation system here, and you don't want to be dating someone who lives all the way in Logan Square and you're like Hyde Park, you know. Like, I want to add, if you are in the LGBTQ plus community, definitely think about like Boys Town, North Halsted. Like, that is a really great space to make friends, date, feel like included. It's very friendly towards the LGBTQ plus community. Like, there's little rainbows on the street. Again, Chicago is a pretty liberal city. It's a liberal city. It's blue. In general, like, there are spaces that are very accepting, especially during this time. Like, I know it can be more scary if you're in that community or trans and whatnot. So definitely check out Boys Town, North Halsted. Great neighborhood for that. For hot take number 3, I'm gonna point out the obvious, right? That Chicago is kind of in the middle of nowhere. Hear me out. We do have some other large cities, but Chicago is pretty much the dominant, surrounded by a lot more corn, rural lands. Like, I do find that it attracts a lot of people who are looking for an urban city life, which is great because the melting pot. And it also makes Chicago like really approachable, laid back, humble city, very like for the normal average person. if you have a family, if you're just like trying to live a cool, simple life and not like have the like abundance and craziness of like LA culture or New York culture, like it can be kind of overwhelming in those bigger cities. For example, LA, very like status based with like social media and how many followers do you have and your reputation and like what you're like, the hustle and bustle of that, and even the hustle of New York, like the constant grind and how expensive it is. Like Chicago is a middle ground where you can just be. And that's what I love about it. Again, like it's for the average person who wants some city life, wants to be chill. Like I've met a lot of like really dope, humble, cool people, to the point of Chicago being in the middle of nowhere too. Like it is surrounded by a lot of rural, even conservative ideas. In this climate that we live in with Trump and the presidency, this whole political chaotic thing, there's some concern for sure. Like I know when Trump was immediately in office, he like came straight for Chicago doing raids for immigrants. And he even has like a huge building in the heart of River North downtown. And that is, it's a beautiful building, I gotta say, but it's an eyesore to see his name across it, like front and center, you know? So to say like, there are a lot of more conservative viewpoints that are around Chicago. Chicago's still very liberal in its views, but of course we're a melting pot, so you'll get a lot of different ideas into the city. So I love to do karaoke with some of my friends, and there was a guy that was a part of our group for a long time, and we actually found out that he was someone who invaded the Capitol back in January 6th. Bruh. And that was a shocker to us all, right? Because like, oh my God, we didn't talk about politics actually, but like the fact that this guy had the balls and like the drive to want to go all the way to Washington to do all that stuff. And of course now he's pardoned because Trump, you know, let go of all of those charges for anyone who is committing active terrorism on our nation, sure. But, you know, it's just, you know, you never know who you'll run into. Yeah, we just live in an interesting time, right? And it's a political squeeze and also just strange tribalism from the right. You know, Chicago sometimes even does a lot of protest for Ukraine, Palestine, things like that. So there, again, it's a liberal city, so there's a lot of activism that also plays its part. Usually it's downtown or in different areas. On the bright side about the location, actually, though, the weather has been getting very nice. Of course, climate change or the climate crisis is affecting Chicago as well. There is not as much snow. It snowed a couple of times and it's stuck on the ground maybe 3-4 times. Like it really wasn't crazy. It does get cold still, like wear a jacket, you gotta bundle up for sure, but it's not as bad as it used to be. And right now, like it's March and the weather has been like 70, 65. It's beautiful out. So definitely keep that in mind. Like Chicago in the next couple of years might be a beautiful place to live because it will barely get cold. The summers might get pretty hot, but not as bad as like going to Austin, Houston, Texas, Nevada, places like that. Cause it might not be bearable in the next like 30 years. So, and of course, the location's perfect. Like we're right by the water. We have our lake. There's a lot of walkways. We have beaches. We have parks. We have like a beautiful place to live. And I don't see myself leaving anytime soon. We have a beautiful place to live, and it's honestly perfect. If you can bear a little bit of cold, it's a perfect place to be. For hot take number 4. So this one is a little bit of that ugly side of Chicago, but talking about that kind of gangster mentality that kind of lives through the city in a couple of different aspects. A big one is like politics. Chicago politics is known to be trash or like shady, a lot of corruption, a lot of issues. I don't know, there's always seems to be like some issue with money in Chicago. Like, yeah. All right. And as beautiful as this city is, like there's just like some things that could definitely be better. Fixing the homelessness problem. I know like there's so many different cities that are having issues with homelessness and housing, but you see it here in Chicago with tent cities that we have, homeless who are just like at grocery stores and on the street and in parks, and oh my god, the trains, that is also crazy, especially in the winter. I just avoid the red line, the blue line. It's just not safe or just like it's grungy, and there's a lot of people who like have to live on there to stay warm, or just like peeing or pooping on the train, who are smelly, and like it's just not the best. Okay, so there should definitely be more support, or we need more support to help homeless in crime and things. And going back to that gangster mentality, I think it even stems all the way back to Al Capone, that whole like mobster prohibition 20s vibe. Like Chicago still holds that in a different capacity now, right? But there's still like drugs and crime and like an underground like taboo scene that happens here. And of course that can bring violence and some things to look out for, which definitely is portrayed in the news and things like that. So it's there is that side of it, but there's also like a cool energy that Chicago holds with like our speakeasy culture, or like this charm that we hold. Like there's a lot of pride to Chicagoans and what the city brings, and people are chill, but they're also like, you don't play with them, right? Like they hold their own. You don't want the drama, okay? And we're very proud of the city. And for hot take number 5, I'm gonna say the cost of living is something to look out for. You don't have to be super rich to live in the city. You can have a very average, simple job, live a simple life, and be able to support yourself. So it's definitely across the board economically, like things are more expensive. We can all feel it. Like the price of eggs, the other day at the grocery store, I paid $8 for some eggs, okay? Like things are getting expensive. It's definitely more expensive than when it was when I first moved to the heart of the city. So things are shifting, and that was like 5 years ago. At this point, like there are deals here in Chicago still. Like it's definitely not the extreme that you'll see in a city like New York, where apartments are crazy prices and it's like an ugly shoebox. So you can still get great places in Chicago, but it's just shifting. It's the location that you live, and hold me to it. I will come out with updated like Chicago neighborhood pricing, things to look out for neighborhood video, because I do have my favorites and I will list that. So like and subscribe if you want to see that. Yeah, the cost of living with, if you have a car, like that will increase your living cost a ton, right? Because insurance and gas and parking and garages and gas, I said gas, but a ton of different things. Like cars do add extra cost, and the beauty of Chicago is you don't really need cars. I never had a car here. I know a lot of people who don't, and the people who do, it's always an issue, right? But these are all things to keep in mind. Okay, so those are my 5 hot takes about Chicago. Definitely avoid the city if you can't handle them. But again, in all fun, I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you have any additional thoughts to what I said, go ahead and write it down below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. I appreciate it. It supports the channel, and I'll see you until next time. Goodbye.